Real Estate Masters. Everything you need to know about real estate, from buying and selling a house and the latest in local development and community projects to investing in local, national, and international properties. And now, here are two people who know their way around all things real estate, Tamika Bryant and David Johnston.
Thank you for watching TV25's Real Estate Masters. I'm your host, David Johnston, my co-host, Dr. Tamika Bryant. This afternoon, we're on location in Kansas City's Northland at Affinity Enterprise Group, and we'll be speaking with our guest this afternoon, Mr. Derek Ramsey, who's been a colleague and a longtime friend of mine since about 2000. Derek is Vice President of Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors, Missouri Advocacy Group. Is that correct, Derek? Or what is the actual title? It's long.
Vice President of Realtor Advocacy and Commercial Services.
There we go. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. So maybe to start things off, let's talk a little bit about what KCRAR, or the Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors, is and what it does as a group, and then we'll kind of get into specifically what it is that you do and what's important to us today.
Great. So KCRAR is the trade association for all the realtors in Kansas City. A lot of people don't realize that realtor is actually a trademarked term. So only members of our association, who are also members of the state and national association, are realtors. So we represent approximately 8,000 realtors in the Kansas City metropolitan area, roughly 4,000 in each state, which working in two states, presents its own unique challenges, certainly, as you both know, being dual licensed. But so we try to not only advocate, which is my position, but we provide services such as standard forms, our continuing education classes, really try to meet the needs of the realtors beyond what they get from their brokers.
Sure. You also provide professional standards.
Professional standards. We're going through our ethics renewal right now, so we make sure that our realtors are informed and up to date on all the latest practices, both from an education standpoint, from a technology standpoint. All of these kind of services are things that we provide.
Very good. So with you being on, it used to be the Political Action Committee, or I can't remember what it used to be, now it's Missouri Realtor Advocacy.
Correct.
And what is your, just so you can touch a little bit, our viewers understand kind of what your background is and what you brought us into this, because you've been involved in politics for a long time.
Right. So I was a political science major in college. My senior year, I worked on a local campaign for a city councilman. When that councilman won the primary in February, he offered me a job when I graduated in May. So I was able to transition right into something in my field, which is rare for political science major. Fortunately, land in that position, learn a lot on the job, straight out of college. So I was a political science major at MU. Had the opportunity to work for a city councilman during his 1995 election. When he got elected, he offered me a job coming straight out of college. Really was able to find a job in my profession, which is pretty rare for a political science major, and was able to learn on the job. A lot of interactions with really the movers and shakers of Kansas City. Got to know a lot of people. Worked very closely with the Planning and Zoning Committee, the Planning and Development Department in Kansas City, and kind of got a taste for real estate that way. A job opportunity came open when KCRAR merged in 2001, and I applied and was successful. So been there ever since.
Awesome. Well, since you're responsible for the Realtor Advocacy, maybe touch a little bit, tell us what your committee is doing, what your function is, and
what this blue button here.
we're going to get into
So this
and why we're here today.
That's right. This is what we've been involved with for the last 6 months. But in general, we have about 30 to 40 very politically active, politically motivated realtors in Kansas City. We have a committee on the Kansas side, a committee on the Missouri side, and we review proposals at the local, county, state, federal levels to see what their impact might be on real estate, to see if it's something we need to take a position on, to see if it's something that we have an existing policy on, and then we determine a strategy. We may submit letters of support or opposition to a given ordinance that's introduced in one of the cities in which we operate. We may testify. We may do a little more public campaign to support a candidate or an issue that we think is important to our members or homeowners in the Kansas City metropolitan area.
It's about property values up and protecting the business models that
Exactly,
realtors
and
have.
we're real fortunate that we have these members of the committee because they take their volunteer time to work on behalf of realtors across the region. I can do a lot of the advising and some of the heavy lifting, but if our members aren't involved, if our members aren't there advising me on a position we should take or how a proposal may actually work in the field, our advocacy role really is not near as effective as it could be.
I think a lot of people don't, and realtors in general maybe, not understand how much influence we do have in politics. I mean, I was just reading an article from NAR the other day that said, I think at the federal level, we're spending $25 million on congressional elections. I mean, that's a huge amount of money.
In different ways, not in direct contributions to candidates, but in a lot of ways. NAR is consistently ranked one of the top 10 most influential voices in Washington, D.C. KCRR is the largest trade association in Kansas City. So we certainly do pull a lot of weight. We have a local PAC that is able to support candidates that support our issues. And so that helps us get in front of elected officials as well. We have a pretty robust fundraising effort, and we're fairly impactful.
Very good. Well, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to talk about Amendment 4.
Great.
Which is coming up. So just telling everybody to stick around. You're watching Real Estate Masters on TV 2510.